Hi guys, and welcome back to this video. Thank you so much to anyone who's commented on my previous video. At this point, I think I replied to all of you, and if I haven't, I definitely will. And I've had a lot of insightful conversations with my friends these days about life and the human experience. And one topic that stood out time and time again is the topic of insecurity. And I spent a lot of time thinking about it. Like, what is insecurity? Is it really what the word says it is? Like being like or having lack of security in yourself? Or is there more to it? And is it fixable? Can we affect it in any way? Well, like anything, it's important to look at the factors to contribute to it, right? And by analyzing my own experiences, I realized that the only time I've ever felt insecure has been when I've had high expectations for something and then very little faith that I could hit those expectations. And so the gap between this point and this point is where insecurity exists, right? But what if you had high expectations and you had high amounts of faith in yourself? Insecurity doesn't really exist, right? Because these two things are now equivalent. And so it made me realize that a lot of insecurity is truly in your control. Like a lot of it is your faith in yourself. And you may say, okay, that's all great, but how do you gain faith in yourself? Well, I'll give you an example. What if you had a friend that was time and time again inconsistent or, would betray your trust? Would you have faith in that person? No, right? And if you don't have faith in that person, what does that mean? That you don't have trust in them. You don't trust that person. And so let's say that you to yourself are a friend, right? And you need to ask yourself the question, why don't I have faith in myself? Well, could it be because you consistently haven't shown up for yourself? Is it because you lack consistency in your life? Because think about it. If, let's say you tell yourself, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. and then you wake up at noon. You might think, okay, great, I got extra sleep. Oh no, I didn't wake up. But it's actually deeper than that. You are subconsciously telling yourself that you can't count on yourself, that you set a goal to wake up at a certain time and you didn't fulfill that goal. That is betraying your own trust, right? And if you repeatedly betray your own trust, can you really have faith in yourself? And if you cannot have faith in yourself, doesn't that effectively mean that your faith will always remain here and your expectations will remain here and you will always be insecure? But let me give you the opposite. Let's look at the expectation side. Let's say your faith was reestablished to yourself and now your kind of trust within yourself is a lot higher. Let's say it's here and you set more realistic expectations. And now your expectations are here. They're equivalent, right? That means insecurity will probably also be lower or actually diminish significantly. And what if your expectations are even more realistic and they're a little lower maybe, that you're shooting a little lower, but what that means is that since your expectations are here and your faith is here, you can still go up, right? You can go meet your expectations, but also go above them. So, effectively, I think one way to tackle insecurity is to, analyze the relationship that you have with yourself. Is it one where you have trust in who you are as a person? Are you concrete in who you are? And are you consistently showing up for yourself? Obviously, this all is kind of like a minimized version of what insecurity is because it's a much more complex topic than just graphs. But it's one way to conceptualize it and understand it a little bit better. And it's certainly something that helped me because when thinking about it in this way, I was able to look at my habits and my day-to-day schedule and be like, okay, where am I making promises to myself or setting goals or checkpoints? And where am I not meeting them? Because those are my, areas for improvement. So I think one thing I quite struggled with was waking up on time. Like, let's say I have something at 10 a.m. I would wake up at 9:30 a.m. and rush out that door. But probably had I woken up at 8 a.m. for something that I have at 10 a.m., I would have 2 hours, which helps me feel more trusting of myself and that I have control over the situation and my time. And effectively, I trust myself more. So hopefully you're beginning to see how important showing up for yourself is and how it can lead to more security in yourself as an individual and in your life and the things that you do. And one book I actually do recommend if you're interested in habit building is Atomic Habits by James Clear. I think this book beautifully describes the importance of building habits in your life and building systems that work. And it'll allow you to be introspective and look at your own life and maybe implement the same systems or understand where there's inconsistencies or you could do better. And at the end of the day, this isn't something I knew either. I kind of learned about this through reading this book, but also through kind of introspection and looking inwards and understanding, okay, where am I showing up for myself? Where am I not showing up for myself? And making those changes effectively led to my own inner strength and being able to, feel more secure in myself as a student, as a professional, and as a person. And yeah, so this is a very short video, but these are some of my thoughts that I had from the conversations I had with my friends. And I thought it might be very helpful for you guys to hear. And as always, please comment and like and subscribe. And if you could comment a few things that you're interested in me talking about or covering, I would love to know what you have to say and what your thoughts are. And I'll definitely take them into consideration and note them down and do the necessary due diligence. Thank you, and see you next time.